All right, great. Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. This is our last awards committee meeting for 2020, and we are certainly going out with a bang, which is par for the course, I would say, for this year. I'm Jenny McCollum, the Director of Procurement Services for JEA and the Chair of the Awards Committee. I'd like to call the December 17th, 2020 awards meeting to order. We do have a quorum with Stephen Datz, Alan McElroy, Steve Tooten, Joe Arfano, and Kevin Holbrooks is sitting in for Wayne Young. I want to take a minute to also just introduce Lasikia Hodges. She's our representative for OGC, and then budget is Lori Whitmer, and hopefully we will get her audio taken care of here in a minute. Also, I can see Brandon very clearly, and your house looks spectacular. Your decorations look amazing, so just wanted to give you a shout out. You can thank your wife, I'm sure, for that. And would like to open it up for public comment. If anyone else wants to comment on Brandon's decor, certainly can at this time. Or if anyone has public comments on the items on this agenda, please speak up. Is there anyone in the room?
Did you see her flying Santa? That's a new addition this year.
No.
Flying around the tree.
That's I love it. It's like your drones.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any public that have come into the room for seat in the bid office. And Alan, if you guys could unmute just so I can hear you guys, that's perfect. All right. So no public comment in the room. Can I get a confirmation no one in the public has shown up?
Yes, no one has shown up from the public.
Okay, great. And then Lynn or Cecil, have we received any emails or are there anyone that's dialed in that would like to have a public comment on any of the agenda items? Okay. I want to just check in with Lori. Can you hear us yet?
Yes, I can hear. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. And we can hear you too. All right. So I think we are all set and ready to get moving. We have on today's agenda items 1 through 6, 9 through 11, 13, 15 through 18, and 20 through 23. We've deferred items 7, 8, 12, 14, and 19. They've all been reviewed by procurement and budget and are ready for the awards committee review. We will go through the agenda and review each award individually. After we finish reviewing, if there's any comments or questions, we will have an opportunity for the committee to ask those and we will answer. And after that, I'll ask for a motion to approve the award in a second, and then we will roll call through the committee to approve throughout each member individually. So we're going to start with the award minutes from December 10th, 2020. Does anybody have questions on those?
No, this is Steve Tooten. I make a motion to approve the December 10th, 2020 meeting minutes.
Alan, second.
Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee, starting with Steve Tooten.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Joe Arfano.
Approved.
And Kevin Holbrooks.
Approved.
Thank you. All right, award number 2. This is a sole source. This is for TEA and JEA Water Systems Optimization Software Application Project. This is a request for a sole source agreement to complete work already started with the Energy Authority, which is who we refer to as TEA, through an original no-cost proof of concept agreement that we had with them. This is for a project services agreement for the TEA and JEA Water System Optimization Project, in which JEA will take possession of a software application that has been developed by TEA. The application will optimize the set points for the high pressure service pumps to minimize the energy usage and runtime, but to still provide the correct pressure and water volume to the grid. The benefits of this will reduce wear and tear on the pumps, reduce energy consumption, and by regulating the pressure, you have more control over the losses or the leaks in the system. This optimization will assist JEA in meeting its annual consumptive use permit requirements. And the output of this project will be provided to JEA in the form of an interactive dashboard that allows JEA's water center operators to select system objectives, assign different constraint penalties, and generate feasible plant water output schedules. I'll just note that as of now, the standalone application is at a little bit more than 80% complete, and the award amount will cover the hours needed to finalize the application. Testing internally with the water group will be required over the next year to validate the information before we move into an automated production. Integration of the project into JEA's PI system, JEA's SCADA system, and JEA's real-time operations system is not included in the scope. This is something that JEA will be doing internally. And just another note, JEA's customer and analytics, utility analytics team has worked with TEA for at least 18 months to develop an optimization model to control this, the high pressure system pumps at JEA's water plants. This work has again been completed at no cost to JEA, and as part of TEA's strategic direction to develop an analytics subscription service for its members, which you guys saw last week. Because JEA is the only integrated utility service provider among TEA's members, TEA has decided to not include this in the subscription since we're the only ones that would utilize it. So given this direction, that's why we are asking the committee to sole source the remainder of the project costs, and then it will become a JEA application. So the awardee is TEA in the amount of $40,000. And I will pause to see if you guys have any questions.
Jenny, this is Stephen.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Okay. Yeah, you referenced Award 13 that was approved last week as a sole source. And I was just wondering whether or not there should be an amendment since they're using the same project number, the 8006726 for the $30,000.
So we thought this would be a separate, I mean, it is separate from the subscription, and it's something that is an actual, like, tangible, you know, application that JEA is going to have as a result. The other is more of a, like, service subscription type thing. So we have kept them separate. I'll ask if OGC has any thoughts on if we should do this differently.
Through the chair, Jenny, I think the way you presented it is fine.
Okay. Do you have concerns, Stephen, or was it just something you wanted to open up for conversation?
Yeah, it was just a general question because of the timing and the same project number, and it was essentially the same justification, you know, that you know, we're 80%-ish into these things, and here's another one. So the follow-up is whether or not we're expecting, you know, any other awards for similar work.
And I think Tim Hunt is on the call. Tim, do you want to chime in there?
Yeah, there is nothing else coming down as far as I know with T. On this work. This was just, as Jenny clearly communicated, was one that was pulled out separately on T's request from the connected analytics. It wasn't going to be part of that subscription service. So it was a bit of a unique project from that standpoint. And we're really close to getting it completed. The proof of concepts have been reviewed a couple times by Hai Vu and the other some of the other water managers. So we've had demos with T on this, and it looks really promising. So that's the reason we pulled it out separately, was just because it's not going to be an ongoing, recurring annual contract, but just a one-time project, standalone project.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate the details.
Sure.
It was a great question. Thank you, Stephen. Do you guys have any other questions?
Jenny, Joe Orfano, out of an abundance of caution, I abstained last week on the vote and completed a form that was submitted as part of the minutes. Upon further review with OGC, they've determined, and I have confirmed that I have no personal gain or loss in the business of JEA, the Energy Authority. So that conflict has been resolved, and I am eligible to vote on awards for the Energy Authority. And again,
Great.
my potential conflict was that I serve on the Finance and Audit Committee of the Energy Authority.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know that. Any other questions from the committee members?
And thanks to the CQ.
All right, can I get a motion to approve award number 2?
Sal McElroy, make a motion to approve.
Joe
Thanks,
Orfano,
Alan.
second.
Thank you, Joe. We'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 2, starting with Alan McElroy.
Approve.
Joe Orfano.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Steve Tootin.
Approved.
And Kevin Halbert.
Approve.
Thank you. All right, award number 3. This is an invitation for bid, and this is Normandy Substation Controls Project. This is for construction services for JEA Systems project, or projection and control project, which includes installation of conduits in the yard runs, installation of, sorry about that, a call was coming in, installation of control house, control cables, providing professional or personnel for on-site outage support, demolition and removal of decommissioned relay control panels, removal of the entire length of the decommissioned cable. We're estimating the completion to be June 30th of 2021. And the awardee is CNC Powerline in the amount of $744,359.70. We had 4 bids received, and the award amount is about $185,000 below our 100% design estimate. And so that is positive. We had positive, we had good competition as well. So, and I'll just note that this was not a project. We had an optional JSIB goal. This was not a project that the JSIBs could participate in. And I will pause there to see if you guys have any questions or comments.
Stephen Datz, motion to approve.
Steve Tootin, second.
Thanks. Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 3, starting with Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approve.
Kevin Halbert.
Approve.
And Joe Orfano.
Approved.
Thank you. Award number 4 is a contract amendment. This is for construction management at risk services for our Greenland water reclaim facility. The Haskell Company is the awardee. And just some history, originally bid and approved by the awards committee on August 22nd, 2019, in the amount of about $518,000, give or take. And it was to Haskell Company, and that was for pre-construction phase services, which included design and constructability reviews, construction phase sequencing, coordination and maintenance of utility operations pre-planning, alternative evaluations, cost estimating and cost control, which is value engineering services, project schedule development, and preparation and submission of an open book GMP for the construction phase services. We did an administrative change order through procurement to install fencing to prevent gopher tortoises from returning to the construction site, and that was about $52,000. So it brings us to this award, which is an early out work package to build an access road, plant access piping, and site clearance for the project, and the amount is $9,479,822. To date, the new not to exceed amount for this award is a little over $10 million. Since this is a greenfield construction site, an access road and site clearance is required before any other construction can commence. The GMP for this early work package is about 21% below what we were estimating and 18% below what Haskell had originally submitted to us before we were able to enter into negotiations with them to bring down that cost. So the total savings from the submission from Haskell to where we are today is a little over 2.1 million that procurement and the business were able to reduce. So JEA in those negotiations reduced the site clearance scope just slightly, but most of the savings came from negotiating the overhead and the contingency for the CMAR. And then finally, once design has reached 90% stage completion, the final GMP for the water or for the main water reclaim facility will be brought before the awards committee for approval. Right now, we're currently between 30 and 60% design. And as a note, the engineer of record is Jacobs. And just for scale, the estimate for this for total construction is $98.5 million. So we're a little over 10 million now. We've got quite a large project ahead of us. Are there any questions from the committee? All right, can I get a motion to approve award number 4?
Alan McRoy, motion to approve.
Thanks, Alan.
Second.
All right, got Joe as a second. We'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 4, starting with Alan McRoy.
Approved.
Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Steve Tootin.
Approved.
And Kevin Halbrook.
Approved.
All right, award number 5. This is an invitation for bid. This is for Spring Park Road Pump Station rehab and upgrades. The project includes the partial rehabilitation of the pump station, which includes major electrical upgrades, and the rehabilitation of the existing pumps, which will allow continued use of this pump station. We received 2 bids and reached out to the non-bidders who indicated they chose to bid on other projects, given the amount of work that JEA is currently bidding out. So there are certainly more that could do this work, but we are overloading the vendors with work at this time, and so we are seeing some of the participation decrease because of that. We certainly, don't want them bidding on things and being over committed. So we found that the 2 that submitted and looking at the amount of the estimated budget and what we're dealing with, we deem that reasonable. Williams Industrial LLC is the recommended awardee, and the amount of $3,358,137.98. And project completion is expected April of 2022, and there was a JSEP goal of 5%. Do I have any questions from the committee members? All right, can I get a motion to approve award number 5?
Steve Tootin, motion to approve.
Stephen
Thank
Datz,
you.
second.
Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee, starting with Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Stephen Datz,
Approved.
Alan McElroy,
Approved.
Kevin Hallbrooks,
Approved.
and Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Thank you. Award number 6, another invitation for bid. This is cured in-place pipe, which is what we refer to as CIPP, unit price construction contract. The scope is to provide CIPP services for rehabilitation of sewer pipe. The work specified provides for the reconstruction of pipelines and conduits by the installation of a resin flexible tube that is tightly formed to the original conduit. The resin is cured using either hot water under hydrostatic pressure or steam pressure within the tube. We received 5 bids, and Instaform Technologies LLC is the awardee in the amount of $1.5 million, which is over a 3-year term. The unit prices in the bid workbook will be used as the basis to issue task orders for CIPP work as future projects occur. The recommended awardees' unit price are approximately 25% lower than the current contract pricing that were bid in 2015. So we're looking at a represented savings of about $428,000 over the 3-year term. And I'll ask the committee if you guys have any questions or comments. All right, can I get a motion to approve award number 6?
I'll make a motion to approve this, Kevin.
Kevin? All right, I heard Kevin and Alan as a motion and a second, and I will ask the committee to approve award number 6, starting with Kevin Hallbrooks.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
And Steve Tootin.
Approved.
All right, award number 9. This was an invitation for bid. This is Beverly Hills West Septic Tank Phase Out Project. This project will construct a new gravity sewer system, lift station, and force main, remove and replace existing water mains and water services, remove and replace existing drainage, remove and replace existing roads, remove and replace existing concrete driveways and sidewalks. Restoration will include sodding and landscape as a part of the septic tank phase out project. To remove the service approximately 480 residential septic tanks. So they're phasing out 480 septic tanks here. We only received 1 bid here, and we reached out to the bidders to better understand. This is something we see consistently with this type of work, but we did still reached out to them to find out why they were not bidding. And we held the 1 bid for a week to do that research. Most companies said that the project was outside of their area of expertise and wanted to focus on other projects, or that the project was just too large. 2 companies indicated that they may propose if they had ample amount of more time, which we could not, do with our timeline. But we did extend it for a little bit and had a new bid opening where we still received only 1 bid. So we tried to compromise, but the extension just didn't seem to be enough for the other 2 to put a bid together. The awardee is JB Coxwell Contracting, and the amount is $20,987,000. And I will note, as you can see, this is a very large project, but the award amount is 4.8% lower than the budget estimate. And when comparing to other septic tank phase out projects, the pricing from the 1 bidder is deemed reasonable. There's a 20% JSEP goal on this project, and we are expected to have completion in November of 2022. This is a joint project with the City of Jacksonville, and it's created under Ordinance 2016-490 to reduce the nitrogen and phosphorus levels going into impacted waterways. And they will reimburse JEA for 100% of the construction costs here. So all of this will be reimbursed to JEA. So I'm going to pause and see if there's any questions or comments from the committee.
This is Lori Whitmer from Budget. Just for clarification to everyone here so they are aware, this budget, it is 100% reimbursable. It is managed by the business, so there is no oversight from the budget department.
Thanks,
on this
Lori.
particular.
Okay, great. Any other comments or questions?
This is Alan McElroy. I make a motion to approve.
Thanks, Alan. Can I give a second?
Joe O'Connor, second.
All right, great. I will roll call through the committee to approve award number 9, starting with Alan McElroy.
Approve.
Joe Arfano,
Approved.
Stephen Datz,
Approved.
Kevin Hallbrooks,
Approve.
and Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Great. Thank you. Award number 10 is a contract amendment. So this is the same project, Beverly Hills West septic tank phase out. This is the engineering contract for this. And just for some history, the original solicitation included engineering services for preliminary design, final design, permitting, and bid phase services. The scope of work includes design of individual connections to each home and proper abandonment of the existing septic tanks. The scope also includes work to replace the existing asbestos cement, galvanized, and cast iron water mains. The engineering services to be provided included surveying and geotechnical investigation as well. So the original award was a little over 1.7 million and included all services except for construction engineering and inspection, which we refer to as CEI services, during the construction portion. So as you can see, award number 9 is our construction bid. And so now we are coming back to ask the committee to increase the contract for the engineer to perform CEI services here. The awardee is Jones Edmond, and the amount of the award is $1,192,240. The, again, expected project completion is November of 2022. And the JSUB goal for the work for the engineering was also 20% of the entire engineering scope, which they've exceeded. And as a note, just this change order alone is 55% JSUB related. So great work, guys. Again, this is a joint project with the city and reimbursable through them. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
Jenny, this is Stephen. The new not to exceed amount should be $2,941,925, and that's on page 82 and 83.
Okay, we will update that. Just a mathematical error.
Yep, that's correct.
Man, 23 awards. We tried so hard not to have you comment on anything.
I'll just ask general questions.
I'll ask the committee to a motion to approve award number 10.
This is Steve Tootin, subject to the mathematical correction. Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Even that second.
Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 10, starting with Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Kevin Hallbrooks.
Approved.
And Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Award number 11 is a change order. This is for Procurement's e-sourcing and contract lifecycle management, cloud SaaS software solution, license subscription, purchase implementation, and integration. That is the longest title I think I have ever seen in the awards committee. We originally competitively bid this and approved by the awards committee in November of 2019 in the amount of $788,037. And this went to Zycus. In January of 2020, the contract was amended to request about $35,000 for travel expenses. And on September 2020, the contract amendment was requested in the amount of about $42,000 to add 183 additional business user licenses at the rates that were originally submitted. And then to add optional DocuSign functionality at $1,500 annually to reduce the majority. Oh, and we also reduced the majority of the travel expenses just due to COVID and them not having to come on site and do everything remotely. And this request is just a very small change order. It's about in the amount of $1,715. And it is to complete 3 small system functionality changes at our request that were discovered during post-go live stabilization. So there were a few things that weren't working the way we wanted them to from like a workflow perspective, and a few other things that we wanted tweaked. So you can see it's a very small amount, but just the total new not to exceed amount for the total project is $868,271.36, which is still under our budget estimate that we had when we went out to bid. Are there any questions or comments? Can I get a motion to approve award number 11?
Stephen Datz, motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll make one second.
Thank you, Joe. All right, we'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 11, starting with Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Joe Orfano.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Steve Tootin.
Approved.
And Kevin Hallbrooks.
Approved.
Great. All right, award number 13. This is a contract amendment to Schweitzer Engineering Laboratory, which we will refer to as SEL equipment. And this is a JEA approved standard. A little bit of background of what this contract does. It's for the supply of a large number of standardized relays, control components, and services for transmission and distribution substations. Additionally, JEA may request ad hoc tech support, equipment design, integration, engineering services related to the SEL equipment under the contract. The contract will be used to support capital and operations and maintenance projects. Previously approved by the awards committee on June 4th of 2020. This amendment request is just to add SEL's Engineering Services, Inc. as an affiliate to the contract. So all purchase orders, invoices, and payments will be to Schweitzer Engineering Laboratory, Inc. SEL Engineering Services, Inc. Will from time to time perform product engineering support under Schweitzer Engineering Laboratory. So we're just asking to change the name of the contract here. The original term of 3 years and the award amount remains unchanged. Are there any questions?
It didn't drop. This is Stephen. The award amount compared to the June 4th award, that didn't get reduced?
Rodney, did it get reduced? I'm sorry if I missed that.
I think it was about.
You did. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Rodney. Since the contract was never actually executed by SEL, it went back and forth with OGC and the company a little bit about adding the affiliate language. The contract wasn't actually executed at the time, so here doing this amendment, we re-baselined the forecast over the years. So the award award amount did change a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, did it go?
$24,500
Look at you.
in the right
math.
direction.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you for catching that. I thought it stayed the same. So that's great. Okay, any other questions? All right, can I get a motion to approve award number 13? I think everybody's waiting for Kevin to
There you go. This is Kevin
approve
Colbert. I
something.
make a motion to approve.
Joe Orfano, second.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks,
All
Joe.
good.
I will ask for a.
I like to feel part of the team.
It's a little bit. You're getting hazed quite a bit by the length of this agenda, but we definitely like to add some fun here. I will ask for a vote to approve award number 13, starting with Kevin Holbrook.
Approved.
Stephen Datz,
Approved.
Joe Orfano,
Approved.
Alan McElroy,
Approved.
and Steve Tootin.
Approved.
All right, thank you. Award number 15, this is an invitation to bid for Ponte Vedra Boulevard 6-inch CI water main replacement. So the scope of work for the project consists of the installation of a new water main in St. Johns County, requiring approximately 8,500 linear feet total of various pipe sizes ranging in diameter from 6-inch to 12-inch. To replace the existing aging 6-inch cast iron water main, as the pipe material has become somebody else want to say that word for me?
Tuberculated.
Thank you. Of a DVD over the years, reducing its hydraulic capacity. JEA received 4 bids and 1 no bid. DB Civil Construction LLC is the recommended awardee in the amount of $3,319,011. The award amount is approximately 17% lower than our budget. And this is primarily due to lower unit prices for pipe fittings, valves, water service connections, pavement removal, replacement, abandonment of existing pipes, and site restoration. All of those came in under what we were estimating. The project involves the removal of portions of the paved right-of-way located in St. Johns County, requiring restoration and resurfacing of pavement on Ponte Vedra Boulevard after the water main pipe has been installed. And St. Johns County desires that JEA performs the resurfacing to their standards, in which they will reimburse JEA. So we do have a MOU that's been drafted and will be signed prior to contract execution. And then we're expecting this project to be done November of 2021. And we had a JSUB goal of 15%, and the vendor is exceeding that with 16.9. Are there any questions or comments on Award 15?
Steve Tootin, motion to approve.
Thank you.
Stephen Datz, second.
Thank you. I'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 15, starting with Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Kevin Holbrook.
Approved.
And Joe Orfano.
Approved.
All right, award number 16, another invitation for bid, construction services for Holiday Road Master Pump Station rehabilitation. The scope of work for this project includes the replacement of a splitter box in the Holiday Road Master Pump Station and bypass conveyance network. Also included are interior and exterior improvements to the MPS, modifications to the existing pump out connections, wet pit improvements, site work, fencing, paving, and yard piping improvements. We're expected for this project to be completed April of 2022. And we received 4 bids with Williams Industrial LLC. being the recommended awardee, and the amount of $1,838,452.76. This is about 37% lower than our budget estimate. The reasons for the variance include lower than estimated mobilization costs, as well as bypass pumping, light fixtures, splitter box lining, and odor control system. We have a 10% JSUB goal on this one. Do we have any questions or comments on award number 16? All right, can I get a motion to approve award number 16?
Joe Orfano, so moved.
Alan McElroy,
Thank you.
second.
Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee, starting with Joe Orfano,
Approved.
Alan McElroy,
Approved.
Steve Tootin,
Approved?
Kevin Hallbrooks,
Approved.
and Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Thank you. All right, number 17 is an invitation to negotiate. This is for 4 kV transformer at Park and King substation. This contract is for the equipment design, fabrication, and delivery of one 8.6 MVA 13.2 kV/4 kV transformer for the Park and King substation. The work includes the equipment design, equipment engineering, material procurement, fabrication drawings, delivery, etc. JEA received 3 bids, or 3 responses. Delta Star and SPX were shortlisted and invited to submit best and final offers. JEA evaluated the company on price, and Delta Star Inc. is the awardee in the amount of $617,571.90. There is a note that I'll just add here. Delta Star's manufacturing facility in Lynchburg, Virginia is the current qualified manufacturing facility in which we evaluated Delta Star as the lowest price respondent. However, they did submit an optional price for their Quebec, Canada facility, which is priced slightly lower, about $26,000 lower at $590,601. What we're going to do with that is JEA Standards Committee intends to review the Quebec facility, and if accepted, we will allow the manufacturing at the Canada location at the reduced cost. JEA needs to proceed with the contract execution to work with the manufacturer to complete the equipment design and to allow incorporation into the substation design. And so if the Quebec location is approved, JEA will reduce the contract amount via contract amendment, which we can do through procurement. And the JSUB goal was optional on this one. Any questions?
Yes, this is Alan. If I understand it correctly, you're talking about for the Canadian site. We're gonna, that's in consideration for this purpose.
Correct. So part of the min clause, and I'll let Rodney jump in, was to have a approved manufacturing facility through JEA Standards Committee. So they already had one in Lynchburg, Virginia, but they bid on that, but they're proposing their second facility be looked at, and if they do, since they were the low bidder anyways, we're going to do that additional evaluation with the Standards Committee and see if they are approved in Quebec, Canada at that facility. And if so, we have that flexibility to reduce the cost. But we're asking the awards committee to approve the amount of the Lynchburg, Virginia location manufacturing.
Yeah, I just would rather have American made than Canadian made.
And
just my personal opinion.
To add to that, Jenny, this is Steve Tootin, sorry. Is that a physical inspection evaluation, or is that kind of, they send us information, I'm thinking of kind of where we are with the pandemic, and I know that Canadians are a lot more stringent about Americans coming north to check on things or visit or anything, so I'm just curious about
right.
what what that evaluation entails.
Sure, great question. Rodney or the business, do you guys want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I'll ask the business unit to respond to that. The standards committee folks for the substation and transformers, they're the ones that actually go do the inspection. So I don't know if Patricia's online.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was on another meeting this morning and it was picking up. So I just wanted to our review would involve
We're actually we are having a hard time hearing you.
okay. I don't know what's wrong.
That's better.
Let me see.
That's better.
Okay, let me see if I can my volume.
Just speak as closely as you can to your computer. It looks like you're going through the audio on the computer.
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me better now? Okay. So typically we get references from the manufacturer, which are other
Still can't hear.
Still can't hear. It's breaking up. I'm sorry.
yeah.
This is hey Jenny, this is Barry Marquardt. Trisha, I can chime in
Okay.
for you. So yeah, in this case, typically it would be an on-site visit. However, during current times, it'll be a virtual. A lot of these manufacturers now have virtual tours set up so that you can kind of go through and see the factory virtually. Trisha, I think, was getting at a point too where we'll reach out to other users that have received units from this specific factory and try to get feedback from them as well. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it's got to be in the same MVA size, typical. But yes, so nothing on site, but virtual, and then speaking to users that have received units from this factory.
Barry, what do you guys typically look for when you're doing your qualification-based review?
So there, a lot of it's just in the factory. Cleanliness is a big thing in these with power transformers, and there's certain requirements that have to be met. There's standards that have to be met, but so a lot of it is that reliability is a big thing. So there's reliability numbers that come out of these factories on the floor before they get shipped out, and then obviously out in the field. Test practices are another thing that we look at. How involved is the testing, and who's involved in the testing. So those are just some of the things that we look for. There are a few others, but those are the big things.
Thank you. And to Alan's point, is there concern with us going outside the U.S. for this, or have we done this in the past? Are there other facilities outside the U.S. or?
It's a good question. We tend to, especially lately, we tend to lean towards U.S. made. Just power transformer specific, we have received just for GE Prolec. We were receiving units from them out of Monterrey, Mexico, and we unapproved them for a myriad of reasons. But for one, we typically send an engineer to the factory during testing. Well, Monterrey was such that it was just a mess, and there was security personnel all over. Brian Quarterman, who was the engineer that went to do the witness testing. Anyway, so a lot of that, because of a lot of those, we basically try to stay domestic. So that'll be another thing to consider in this. I think lead times are another thing, depending on the need of the business. If the lead time out of Quebec might be pushed out longer, it may be in our best interest to go ahead and keep it in the U.S. So it's certainly something that we consider. Is it common to do this? I wouldn't say yes, but I think in this instance, with the states involved, it's at least something worth entertaining and looking into further.
Thank you.
Do
you guys
Steve
have any questions?
This is Steve through the chair to Ms. Hodges with the OGC. In consideration of this kind of collection of unique circumstances, is the cost avoidance the driving consideration here, or if we defer to say, let's stay, stateside and avoid the more stringent, pandemic guidelines, north of us. I mean, is that, if we go that route, is the fact that we have to pay more, a sticking point? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
I think it does. I mean,
Stephen, are you have to go with this award today? Is that your question?
Yeah, no, I guess, the CQ. No, what I was asking was, is the key consideration lowering the cost versus kind of the other things with the longer, lead time and the pandemic matters and all that, In other words, we say we're gonna pay the extra amount and avoid the complications.
Right.
This is Rodney.
Answer the question. I think the procurement.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I think the procurement method that you use here, there's a lot of flexibility in the factors that JEA can use to make a determination as to how they JEA perspective. With other procurement methods, it is more the cost that's weighed in, but I think here with an ITN, you have a lot of flexibility. That being said, JEA always has the flexibility to, for a reason, reject the award, issue another solicitation, maybe change the factors that you're using. I mean, you always have the ability to be able to do that. But I think the ITN gives you enough flexibility to use exactly these considerations that your business team has stated on the record, as well as any other, considerations that the awards committee, may want. I think the ITN just gives you that flexibility. Does that answer your question, Stephen?
It does indeed. And I guess it's more for future reference, but I was curious because this is a kind of unique combination of elements here. But anyway, thank you. Thank you everybody, through the chair for your amplification and clarification that I am slowing down the meeting. I will now shut up.
I will say, you guys are not, if you're not comfortable with us using the Quebec facility, you certainly can approve this award and we can have that, conversation with the VP of Electric. Since they're not on the committee, if you guys feel that strongly, that's certainly something that we can address. This just gives you the flexibility to go either way. And so if you are comfortable approving the flexibility, it's certainly something that we can take to the VP of Electric and see if they have the same concerns or if they want us to just stick with the U.S. facility.
So the request is now, the request is for the Lynchburg, right? The dollar.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes. So that's what you guys would approve, and if there's any uncertainty or uncomfortableness of using the other facility, that's a business decision that we certainly can make before we execute. We're going to execute at the higher rate, so we would have to do a contract amendment to reduce it and to approve them changing the facility. So I think we're covered from that standpoint and can do the due diligence we need to internally to make sure everyone's on the same page.
And Jenny, this is Steve Toon again. I would certainly defer to the best judgment of the business unit.
Understood. Yep. But I like these questions and the discussion and just understanding what the flexibility is and what you guys are actually approving. So if you have any other questions, let me know.
Okay, Steve, this is Steve Toon. Make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Joe Orfano, second.
Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 7, starting with Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
And Kevin Halbert.
Approved.
Thank you. All right, award number 18. This is an invitation for bid. This is for repair and installation of industrial automatic gate and door systems. The scope of work of this contract is to secure the systems of a qualified contractor, which will provide procurement, installation, and maintenance for the JEA industrial automatic gate and door systems. The work performed by the contractor consists of all the materials, labor, supervision, tools, electronic parts, wiring, software, hardware, and equipment necessary to provide installation, maintenance, adjustment, testing, replacement parts, and emergency services. JEA received 2 bids. Armstrong Fence Co. is the awardee in the amount of $2,388,000, and this is for a 5-year award with one-year optional renewal. Where we can, and we certainly do, try to do cooperative and collective bids with the other agencies. JTA and JPA participated in this bid process, and their forecasted spend was aggregated with JEA spend for the 5-year multi-agency bid. And again, where we can do that, we will try to maximize on the economy of scales between all of these agencies that can participate and use the same services that JEA does. So when we compare the Armstrong fencing labor rates to the current contract labor rates, they remain the same. The forecasted material spend has increased due to material changes and price changes, but there's they vary and are not directly comparable to the last contract. But we will note that the rates are fixed for the first 2 years of this contract, and then the bidder can request CPI increase capped at 2% each year after that. And the next few awards you see are going to be that cooperative procurement and the collaborative procurement with the other agencies. So I won't repeat that each time, but we've got quite a few that we look at and they do participate in with us, which is important. So do you guys have any questions on award number 18? All right, can we get a motion to approve?
Alan McElroy, motion to approve.
Kevin Holbrook, will second.
Was that Kevin as a second?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we'll roll call through the committee, starting with Alan McElroy.
Approve.
Kevin Halbrooks.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Steve Tootin.
Approved.
And Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Great. All right, award number 19 was deferred, so I'm going to cross that one off my list. Award number 20, invitation for bid. This is for the repair and installation of access control systems. The scope of this contract is to secure the services of a qualified contractor, which will provide the maintenance, the installation, and the procurement of the JEA access control systems. So this again is includes the labor, the materials, supervision tools, parts, wiring, software, hardware, equipment necessary to provide all of that, install, maintenance, adjustments, testing, emergency services, etc. G4S Secure Integrations LLC is the awardee in the amount of $5,467,000. This is also a 5-year award, and JTA and JPA were also participating in this one. And when we compare the labor rates on this one to the current contract, which is with G4S Secure Integrations LLC, we did see an increase of 23%. So we dug into that a little bit, and what we found was the last 5-year contract was fixed price And so they were not able to increase year after year with CPI. And if you look at over 5 years, this is about a little over between 3 and 3.5% increase if you look at what they could have done annually. If you compare it to the other bidder, we received 2 bids on this. If you compare it to that other bidder, we're still 50% less when comparing the competition for this award when we compared their rates. So we're deeming this reasonable as something to move forward with. And then for this one, because during, I think, the last contract and you can see how this increased, we did get some pushback. We tried to fix this for 5 years as well for a second time. But they did push back during the bid process. And so we matched that to some of the other awards where we fixed the price for the 2 years. And then the bidder can request the CPI, which we do cap at 2% for this award. Do you guys have any questions on award 20?
Jenny, this is Stephen. The end date is showing 12/16 rather than 12/14. Just
okay.
A couple days off.
Yep, thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments or questions?
Stephen Datz, motion to approve.
Joe Arpano, second.
Thank you. We'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 20, starting with Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Steve Tootin.
Approved.
And Kevin Halbrooks.
Approved.
My coffee is officially gone and we have 3 awards left, so we'll see if we can make it. All right, award number 21, invitation for bid, repair and installation of video surveillance systems. Same situation, same type of scope of work. I'm not going to read through all of that for you guys. I will just jump to the competition, which is JEA received 2 bids for this. United Security Alliance LLC is the awardee in the amount of $6.4 million for the 5 years. Again, JTA and JPA participated, and we aggregated the spend, or we aggregated the forecast. And when we compare the United Service or Security Alliance labor rates to the current labor rates, they decreased on average by about 9%. The forecasted material spend is, just they're varied, and we changed some of the materials being requested, so we can't directly compare those, but we're happy about the 9% decrease that we saw in the rates. This one reflects the same as the other 2, where the rates are fixed for the first 2 years of the contract, and the bidder can request CPI increase, which is capped at 2% per year. And the JSUB goal was optional, just like the other ones. Any questions or comments on award 21?
Steve Tootin, motion to approve.
Alan McElroy, second.
Thank you. We will roll call through the committee to approve award number 21, starting with Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Kevin Halbrooks.
Approved.
And Joe Arfano.
Approved.
All right, award number 22. This was an invitation to negotiate. This is for our water and wastewater materials for JEA inventory stock. The purpose of this solicitation is to price for the water and wastewater materials for what we hold over Commonwealth and Pearl Street. The solicitation includes 1,299 items. During the past 12 months, the commodity spend for these items was about $3.5 million. And at the time of bid release, our current inventory balance for the items in the solicitation was about 1.3. With the average lead times of about 9 weeks, depending upon the item. JEA received 3 responses. And just the work scope the work scope contained within this solicitation continue to represent the shift in how JEA receives its water and wastewater materials. So last year we shifted to a full service capability for them based off of feedback that we were getting. And this solicitation is for 1 year and does the same. We followed suit. The collaboration with the single vendor, JEA will ensure uniformity in supply, receive better responsiveness, and reduce issues that have occurred under other agreements where we cherry picked or had different vendors supporting. One additional benefit of utilizing the full service model is to allow for a safer environment through engineering out many points in the material handling process, including the final steps at the job site. So one change from the current agreement is that instead of factoring in the full service requirements into the cost of the inventory items, we broke that cost out separately as a firm fixed cost per delivery charge. JEA shortlisted the top 2 vendors for best and final offers. Ferguson Enterprise LLC was determined to be the respondent with the lowest cost for the work scope. This, again, is a 1-year contract in the amount of $4,776,285.60. JEA will estimate or realize an estimated 1-year cost increase via unit pricing, which is about 6.7% due to market conditions and factoring the full service requirements. So I will ask the committee if you guys have any questions or comments.
Kevin Holbrook, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Joe Arpano, second.
Thank you, Joe. I'll ask for a vote on the award to approve award number 22 from the entire committee, starting with Kevin Holbrook.
Approved.
Joe Arfano.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Steve Tootin.
Approved.
I think that's everybody. All right. Last award is award number 23. This is a piggyback off of the Florida Sheriff's Association contract for the FY21 purchase of 4 trailer mounted generators. This is for resiliency and for the JEA water wastewater pump stations, and 3 of them are, and then 1 is a replacement unit for facilities. These are portable generators, which help to mitigate the effects of power outages by maintaining the flow at pump stations and reducing the likelihood of SSOs, which is sanitary sewer overflows. The request for facilities is to replace a failed unit at District 2. The Florida Sheriff's Association executed a competitive bid on 10/1 of 2020. And we've mentioned the contract that we are piggybacking off of. The award is with Mid-Florida Diesel. And when we compare the pricing on this contract with the bid that we had done recently, we do see approximately 4% higher. But for this, just because of storm season and needing to replace those generators at the water wastewater side, we are choosing to use the piggyback to make sure that we get them timely and before storm season starts. So this is a one-time purchase in the amount of $352,528. Do you guys have any questions or comments on award 23? All right. Can I get a motion to approve award number 23?
Steve Tootin, motion to approve.
Thank you.
Kevin
Second.
Second.
Thanks, Kevin. I'll roll call through the committee to approve award number 23, starting with Steve Tootin.
Approved.
Kevin Holbrooks.
Approved.
Stephen Datz.
Approved.
Joe Orfano,
Approved.
and Alan McElroy.
Approved.
Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me on this very, very large agenda. I appreciate it. We have reviewed all of them, and the entire agenda for the 2017 Awards Committee meeting is approved. I'll ask if there's any other business to come before the Awards Committee before we adjourn. All right, just a reminder to you all and the business, the next Awards Committee meeting is going to be January 7th of 2021. I hope that everybody has a wonderful and safe holiday since we will not be meeting next week. Enjoy your time with your family and your friends, and just be safe. And we'll see you guys in the new year. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jenny.